All right, we need to go to this lab. Get on with the story. Let's go be a jerk to these kind people.
Move along, stranger. We don't want any trouble.
She's a tough one. No, we want to talk. I need to pick up all this stuff.
I don't know you.
Yeah, Grace, I know.
Whatever you're looking for, it ain't here. Move along.
What's your problem? Okay.
Armed strangers wandering into my camp for one. Some of my camp wandering out for another.
You obviously run a type shit.
You want to try standing outside in the heat, keeping your sights open for the next marauder raid? No, I'm sorry. That was unworthy of me. Lady named Zoe went missing some nights ago. Just up and vanished without a trace. Now I'm pacing around wondering if marauders got to her.
Keep an eye out. You could always go looking for her. Don't tell me you're scared.
It's not like Zoe to go wandering. Figured she might be out scavenging, but that ain't exactly her talent. Can't imagine where she's gone. Vale's a wide place. She could be anywhere.
Unless marauders got her, then parts of her could be in a lot of places.
Could do without the gallows humor.
Okay, sorry.
I'll tell you what I can.
Okay. Tell me about Zoe. Any idea where she might be hiding? Maybe the marauders took her away. How well do you know her?
Vex me. If she told anybody, they ain't telling me. I'd check her room, but I got yelled at for snooping once already. Little ways ago. She was always obsessing over her serial dramas. Wanted to see what the fuss was about.
Snooping in her room.
Well, enough to know we never got on. Zoe and Stefan were close. If anybody knows the workings of her mind, he does.
Stefan, okay. You seem so personable. Can't imagine how you didn't get to know her.
She was lazy and thoughtless, but she's still one of our own. Could be. Dangers aplenty out there. No telling why marauders would steal somebody like Zoe. Got no useful skill as far as I could tell. What is it? Over in the hothouse, tending crop.
Okay. Okay, let's leave. Thanks for letting me in so easily. Zoe's bedroom's over here somewhere. Kill that chicken.
Fancy duds. Do the tubes get in your way?
I'm told one of your numbers gone missing. Okay, that makes more sense.
You mean Zoe? Yeah, we were pretty close. Not like her to go loping off.
One of your numbers. What a weird way to say that. What happened on the day Zoe disappeared?
Zoe and I were gonna watch the serials, as is our custom. She never turned up. I looked around, but she was nowhere to be found. You sound like some type of corporate fixer asking all these questions.
Tell me a little more about Zoe.
Zoe was always obsessed with this serial. Masked marketeer. A scion of Byzantium turns to banditry and teaches his marauder companions the wisdom of free market economics. Shame she up and vanished when she did. I had a surprise lined up for her.
Was she acting strange before she disappeared?
Can't say I recall Zoe ever acting strange. Well, except for her habit of writing things down on scraps of paper. She called it journaling, but I think it's just plain odd.
Yeah, I thought it was odd. Hold on. There was something else.
Hey, I got time. I'll help if I can.
Do I have more questions? What was that about surprising Zoe?
The other day, I got my hands on a genuine copy of the latest Masked Marketeer. I was gonna surprise Zoe with it, but she was gone the next day.
Huh. That doesn't look like Zoe's room. I did not want to steal a poster. Her journal. Another journal. Nice. Okay, we searched the room. And we stole a poster. Which I did not need.
If you're hungry, there's meat turning on the spit outside.
He's
If you're
nice.
bearing illness, find a place to lay your head down and I'll fetch you a poultice. Whatever your troubles with Edgewater, leave them at the gates and be welcomed here. Any questions, dear?
You are so sweet. I feel bad doing this to you. And just who are you now? I'm not here to join your camp.
I have been called that, among other things. Green Thumb, grandmother, the strange old lady who keeps flowers. But yes, Adelaide will do just fine.
Excuse me, Miss McDevitt? Sorry, it's just... You got such pretty trees in here.
Why, thank you. You're Robert's girl, aren't you? I remember when you were but a sprout. Thomas speaks of you often. Are you staying long? You should try some of my tobaccorn tea. I brew it in an old spittoon, but it's been cleaned.
Reese sent me to make peace with you. Is this your greenhouse? Looks like you've made a home for yourself out here. Okay, we're gonna do everything and make her go back, but fix Reed.
No, dear. The garden belongs to us all. Life is the gift of the universe.
She's really nice.
And the universe yields its bounty equally, absent of prejudice.
I'm surprised you managed to grow anything out here.
The soil around the Vale went sour years ago, but I found a way to sweeten it back up. The secret recipe is a little bit of elbow grease, a dash of love, and a heaping pile of special fertilizer.
Looks like you made a home for yourself out here.
A home for anyone who's ever turned their backs on Edgewater. A home for those of us with nowhere left to go and nothing to lose. So, like the spores of the puffball, cast on the wind and alighting on fresh soil, we put down new roots.
Why did you leave your old home?
It is an unpleasant story, dear. But the short of it is that sometimes one wakes up and realizes the place that was once her home for much of her life has changed. The home in which we spent our lives has left us behind, and so we must move on. And that is as much as I will say on the subject.
Okay, let's tell her about Reed.
Reed Thompson? You here on behalf of that cold-eyed reptile? Let's hear it. What's Reed's idea of peace, then?
Yeah. You're living off the power that belongs to the town. Come back to the cannery. That's about it. Reed asks you to consider coming back to town. He's willing to make amends. Something about coming back to town or losing power.
Make amends? Spare me. Only thing Reed knows how to make is a mess. Like everything else that comes out of Edgewater, that peace offering is canned. I and my own are living just fine out here by ourselves.
Play on words. Reed asked me to divert your power over to him. He mentioned a geothermal plant. This is serious. I'm about to cut off the power.
He would do such a thing. The question is, why would you agree to his plans?
Your camp has a power regulator. I needed to repair my ship.
Cannery's got a regulator. You want ship parts, you ought to rip them out of the cannery's guts and leave us be. If you're going down to the plant, you should divert power away from Edgewater and toward our end of the grid. Think about it. You'd be liberating an entire town from a lifetime of service to that odious cannery. Seems the sort of thing a hero would do.
You know, honestly, I haven't done that. I always do to send it back to town. I'll consider it. What have you got against the town? Let's see what she has.
You've seen that miserable excuse for a town with your own lamps. Hollowed out workers laboring their lives away at the cannery, living off whatever scraps Spacer's choice throws them. You know that's true, don't you, Ms. Holcomb? Your father died of overwork. His heart gave out.
He was tired all the time, sure, but he was old, ma'am, and he raised me all by his lonesome.
Look what they did to this child. Lost her family to the company, and still she defends them.
You made your point clear enough. I'll see what I can do. I don't much like you throwing that in her face to get me on your side. What do you have against people trying to make a living? Let's say I help. What happens to Edgewater?
I'm all right. I ain't so fragile.
That was unkind of me. I'm sorry, dear.
Yeah, you apologize. Let's say I help you. What happens?
Life in Edgewater grinds to a halt. The cannery shuts down, workers desert in droves, and our own little camp grows and thrives.
You really don't have a camp here.
You bring power to Reed's town and you'll be killing us. Reed knows it. He's counting on it. I trust you will listen to your conscience.
Huh. Okay, so what you have is this little town compared to that big town. Still a power plant.
Oh, that's Thomas. He used to follow me around before he left the cannery. Where are we headed?
Guess she has nothing to say right now. Can we talk to people?
Keep your wits about you, friend.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Oh yeah, Stefan does have supplies.
If you're hungry, Stefan's got supplies.
Deja vu.
Oh, didn't see you
That's
there.
Thomas.
I was just occupying myself with a little engineering. Whoa, Miss Parvati. Hey, you're, what, how are you? Hi. Hello.
Are you, are things safe out here? How are you keeping?
Great, just great. I've been trying to keep stuff running, just like you. Only I'm not so... Wait, they didn't kick you out, did they?
Oh gosh, no. I'm just along with this lady here.
Are you from town? I mean, you don't exactly look like you're from town.
I'm passing through. I'll take that as a compliment. I'm just trying to get my ship off the ground.
Well, what I meant was you're reasonably well armed and don't look stricken with plague. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if you were from town or if you were one of us. Something's been chewing at me, you see. Fact is, I've been, well, lying. To everybody here. Camp thinks I'm a mechanical genius, but I couldn't fix a busted chair.
Uh-oh. Never too late to start learning. I could give you a couple of pointers. Maybe you should come clean then. Let's go with the top one.
I'll take all the help I can get. I set my mind to learning the craft of the engineer, you see. I want to make something of myself. You ever heard of the Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering? Comes in a set of 3. If I had my hands on one of those data pads, I could teach myself the ins and outs.
Those are good. My dad kept a copy with him when he was working in the cannery.
I know the old community center kept a copy. Should find another one back in town. If you could find me even one of those pads, I'd be greatly obliged.
I'll let you know if I find one. I expect a fair price. You mentioned 2 pads. What about the third?
I wish I knew. I wagered the town had the full set once upon a time. Where the third's gone, I can't say. Would you? I'd be grateful.
Since she likes you, why not?
What's on your mind?
So you pretend to be an engineer. Have you been getting away with it? How long have you lived here?
Couple months. This camp's my home. People you see milling about, they're my family. At least I think of them that way. I owe them my life. Would have died in the wilderness if they hadn't chanced upon me, starving and delirious.
What were you doing out in the wilderness?
We all left the cannery for one reason or another. Me? I was let go, mostly on account of my incompetence. I mean, I was incompetent. I couldn't even survive on my own. Grace found me, Adelaide took me in, I've been on my feet ever since.
You weren't incompetent. You just didn't fit the cannery. Not like here. This place had a U-shaped hole, and now it doesn't.
You could stay, you know. Here. I'd be happy to... I mean, we could really use... this isn't coming out right. If you want, Adelaide would make a place for you.
You say you pretend to be an engineer?
Luck, mostly. Nothing's needed serious repairing yet. Nothing's broken down that we can't just replace with something scavenged from the outskirts. Oh, I can swap out a water filter or charge up a battery and go on pretending I know what I'm doing, but the moment I'm asked to do any real engineering, I'm in trouble.
Alright. He didn't really answer any questions. There are landmines over here. I gotta be careful. First time I played, I ran through them and I blew up. Okay. There's gonna be a cave up here we want to go into. Of those. Not bad he's loaded outside.